Hey man, I don't feel like doing this today. What about you?
Yeah, I could feel that.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I could feel that.
Oh, okay, now I
Yeah.
hear you.
You're always bitching about my sound.
Yeah,
Um,
you're too modest.
I could feel that you didn't want to do it today.
How so?
I don't know. You're occupied
I am. I'm actually,
with illness.
yeah, got a flu end of last week, and I'm still shaky and just not myself. I made a very quick recovery to about 80%, 85%, and then it kind of it kept lingering, and now I just don't feel, I feel out of it. Had a productive day nonetheless, and you as well, because I saw you full focus all day. I didn't even really speak to you today.
True.
Yeah, with your
Yeah.
stupid AirPods in, doing all this.
Some synthwave on repeat.
So what kept you busy these days?
I actually had to dive into the design for a product that we're building for a client. And I ended up doing the entire design myself. So sometimes I like doing that.
Like doing the legwork still?
Yeah, I mean, does make me feel calm in a way to do design work. It's just like this other thing in the back of my head that is lingering. Yeah, but it's fun to do.
Yeah, I like to get my hands dirty as well, you know, on on some of the projects. And I think it's good to always keep an understanding of what's going on, project-wise, you know, customer projects. So I definitely like to get involved a little bit. Certain moments in the project, like to give the copy a good rub that we put in the designs or the design directions. Yeah, things like that.
Yeah,
I like
but
it.
I mean, it's good. I'm often very terrible at delegating things that are not costing that much work and have like this high level of very, yeah, I wouldn't say complexity, but like very business specific things in it, you know? So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not the way to go always, but in this case, I'm...
You know what? I'm always conflicted about that a little bit. More so lately. Because of course, you know, the lesson that they always gave you is like you have to delegate as quickly as possible because that's how you grow and scale, and you have to work, you know, on your business and not in your business, inside your business, you know, all those business cliches. But times are also changing, you know, things are progressing. You know, with all the tools we now have at our disposal, there's tremendous amounts of volume that I can pump through, where I sometimes think like maybe for some business models this is just the way to go. Maybe we were taught a little bit too much to, you know, being the knowledge workers that we are. Maybe we were being taught to let go of that stuff too soon and to look for people to do it for you, because, you know, often you get compromises in compromise in quality, I would say, when it's your brainchild and you delegate it. Like for example, this entire podcast, as you know, I'm producing it, and I can pump through so much volume when I really put my mind to it. I enjoy it. Could I have spent that time on other things? Yeah, but it's also a needle moving thing for us with all the content that we derive from it. You know, I don't know. It's not really a fully articulated thought, but how do you feel about that? I just sometimes feel that in certain phases where you just have to do the work, maybe it is better to just all do it yourself to keep the quality high and the output high enough. You know what I mean? Like that, there's these bursts where I feel like, how can I let anybody else do this but myself right now? It's my idea. I know exactly what I expect from it. I have the skills and the tools to do that super quick.
Yeah, I mean, it depends, right? Because let's take product design, for example. When you delegate that, you want to delegate it to someone that does it better than you. I think in terms of, I don't know, like, let's say my financial administration. I mean, if the person I'm delegating it to does it like 80% as good as I do it, I'm fine with that, man. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, also, I love to delegate that stuff because I absolutely hate doing
Yeah.
financial administration.
Sure, me too. Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't? I mean, there's plenty of accountants who love it, but yeah, not me, man. And for that, I'm happy to delegate it. But then, yeah, product design is a core pillar of Eli 5, and I just I love to get my hands dirty every once in a while. And yeah, this specific project was like, yeah, I took it in and yeah, understood everything. You know, like there's all these like little specific things that I had to keep in mind. I'm like, yeah, I could brief it, or I could just do it. So, yeah, sometimes I like doing it. I was also working on another product, just more like a hobby thing. And in getting into the design for things, it does make me feel happy, you know. But that's how this all started, because basically I was just designing products, and Ishan was building them, like more from a back-end perspective. And yeah, it's funny how these things go, because eventually you will close the loop again, you know, like let's say you've delegated everything, you got a business that runs very well, you don't have a single worry in the world. What am I going to do? I'll probably be designing something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, how about that? Mark Zuckerberg is based now. Supposedly, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. Well, I don't know how to feel
Opportunist
about
much?
I was listening to the episode on Joe Rogan, and it's just like the first minutes, I was like, dude, this motherfucker is... Yeah, he's kind of fake. I just couldn't feel it.
Well, but that's kind of his thing, right? It's just, you know, the quirky communication.
Yeah. I love that he became a little bit more loose, more human. I think there's lots of good things to say about it.
Yeah, that's what sunlight and steaks do for you. Just when you're absolutely cucked by the system, just start eating lots of steaks and getting lots of sunlight. No, but let me tell you, man. Sorry to interrupt you, but
well, you asked me, so I gave an answer. But
yeah, but your answer is not satisfactory at this. So you'll have another chance in a moment. I'm not satisfied.
Go on with your.
No, I just have something that I just on my mind. I think it's very important to remember that Mark Zuckerberg, he didn't only facilitate, but he also inflicted, you know, years and years of damage on people, on a large number of people.
The problem I have with that, and I know exactly where you're going to, back then, all this stuff was basically denied. And now he's basically saying, yeah, okay, we went along with that, all that stuff.
Because of pressure.
Yeah, so that's already a contrast there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't, go on with your monologue.
Yeah, no, but it's now that it's safe. Oh, now you're going to kick out all the biased censorship people, the blue-haired censorship people in your company. Oh, now you're moving that you know, sort of the community notes type of thing you want to do. Now you're moving that out to Texas, you know, the freedom state. Yeah, I mean, now that it's safe, sort of somewhat safe to be based and to be pro free speech. Now, now you're doing the pivot.
Yeah, all of a sudden there lies an opportunity in it.
It's opportunist. And listen, I'm not saying that someone like Elon isn't an opportunist as well, but at least there's some risk in his game, right? There's a lot of risk in his game.
Yeah, he was basically the frontier in this whole thing.
He was very early. Yeah. But now, come on, man. Mark Zuckerberg inflicted with his company, you know, tremendous amount of damage to globally, like an astronomical amount of emotional, physical, financial damage to people by censoring them for simply having an opinion or going against the common narrative. It was that bad.
And, like a lot of those opinions, or like a lot of
are now true, are now
exactly.
fact, are now sort of government verified facts. So, yeah. I don't buy it, Mark. I guess that sort of the net result, that less censorship, more free speech is good for the world, is good for the people. But I don't forget that easily.
No.
And
I think the same. And although I am happy to see a person like Mark with his weight, I'm happy that he's going in this direction. You know, like think of him, whatever you want, especially the past that we just described. I think sticking to it would have been worse. So
for him,
he gets a lot of backlash.
But also for him.
Yes.
So I mean,
Yeah.
that's why it's so opportunist.
I know.
I get
I
it, you
know.
know. As long as the net result is positive, you know, that the pendulum is swinging more towards
Yeah.
freedom and free speech, I guess it's fine. It's just I saw him sitting there with his new necklace and his new haircut and a bit more toned physique from all the MMA. You know, good for Mark, good for him. But my God, it was really, really bad.
Yeah.
All those labels about misinformation, it wasn't that long ago that they still appeared on every post that you know touched on certain topics, for example. So, but you know, Joe Rogan is a smart interviewer because he kind of called him out on it in the last part, right, where he said something like not related to Zuckerberg directly, but he said something like, "Yeah, it's very interesting that all those people." I'm paraphrasing. It's very interesting that all those people they switch now. And he was talking about other people, but then sort of indirectly connected it to Zuckerberg. Like, oh, yeah, it's very good that those people switch their stance now, right? Now that it's okay, now that it's more accepted to do so.
Yeah.
And then he looked at him, like, smiling.
I also saw him giving him a little stab when he basically made note of him using the X community notes, and that he was very happy that Mark was going to use it for his platforms. But yeah, I mean, I think Joe Rogan knew exactly what he was doing. And
he's smart.
I mean, there is a lot of backlash on this. I mean, all of X is full of it. But then, yeah, I don't know. I still, like you were talking about the pendulum. I think this is actually a sign that the pendulum is starting to swing into the other direction. And that also brings me to a following thought. Like, we have been for the last years, and I think I talk for both of us, that especially after COVID, we became, according to some, maybe like radicalized.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm so
but
radicalized.
No, just like my trust in governments was just like plummeting.
All time low.
Yes.
Governments, institutions.
Yeah. And yeah, for the last years, we've been talking about this a lot. And I think lately, mostly since Twitter was bought by Elon, and you got like a little bit more of room to talk about, a little bit more freedom to talk about the things that you actually think. And what I've seen is, let's say, take progressive people who I think I belonged to that group for a very long time. At one point, you can, basically everything you're striving for is actually actualized. But then you could clearly see that a large group of people wanted to continue to, I don't know, more progression or something.
Oh yeah, that's always the issue is never the issue.
Yeah, so
meaning one issue is solved, and then all of a sudden it's not about that issue; it's about a more extreme issue.
Exactly. So it's more like a moat they're in that they cannot get out of.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, okay, if this pendulum is actually swinging more towards the other side again, so more freedom, less censorship, something I feel more comfortable with, then I'm just gonna let go of all this stuff. 100%. Like, I'm gonna let go of it.
That's not how it works, buddy.
Yeah, well, you can say whatever you want, but like, it's just, for me, it's not that much of a topic anymore when there's more of a healthy balance in society, online, offline. And I know we're not there yet, but yeah, for me, then it's good. You know, like if the pendulum starts swinging into the other direction, which it looks like it's doing now, I'm good. You know, like I was always
you're good with what?
Well, I used to always be very apolitical.
Right.
Like
Okay.
I didn't get involved with all this shit, and that for a long time that served me well. You know, like all my friends at the table were like talking politics. I just zoned out, man. I'm like, here we go again.
Yeah.
And I felt a lot more joy when I had that mindset on things. And
sure. Oh yeah, I agree. For me, the discussion is much more cultural than it is political. It's just that politics seems to be so entangled in the all the public discussions.
Of course.
That you very easily arrive there. No, I agree, man. Listen, I'm tired of it as well. I'm saturated with it, and um, some positive developments on the censorship side for sure, and we'll see, man. Let's leave it at that because we have a lot to talk about. Things closer to home, for example, that are much more energizing and more inspiring, because we had our first marketing group meeting last week, which I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, so people from Eli 5 and the Noco side and some of the other initiatives got together at this very table with some good Chinese food from Amsterdam. And we had a super productive meeting, actually. Went over all the content motions that we have been rolling out. We discussed how we can build some proper funnels to really go more into the niches and speak more to actual, very specific pain points in both our audiences, and how we can contribute some value there with some good landing pages, some good content in that funnel, and then ultimately, of course, get more inflow of leads. I really enjoyed it, and quite quickly followed up on it with our marketing manager, you as well. Had a good meeting about it today. Went over some landing page concepts, and it really ties in well to the new Noco services structure as well, the build, optimized, amplify structure. So we kind of chose a number of pain points that all fall under those categories, and came up with some concepts for landing pages, and all with the question like, where is the value? Where can we deliver some value? Some burning questions that our ICP has. And it's so cool to see that it ties into all the other content formats as well. Like our developer Yar, he just made his first in-depth video talking about how to quickly deploy landing pages with a Webflow app, and and you can and then you have some other bits and pieces of content that tie into that as well, so you can link them for some extra context and information. It's really cool to see it all come together.
You know what it felt like for me? Like all of the stuff that we've been working on in the last quarter was all like basically one big burst of intensity, right? And it felt like we figured all that stuff out, and now we are transitioning into turning it into consistent motions.
Yeah.
To actually start reaping the benefits or not. But yeah, I liked it. Good stuff. Feels like we need to do this more often. I see it. I mean, it's clearer than ever. Like especially with Noco, Eli 5 is like some more longer lasting collaborations. With Noco, you just need to have so much inflow of opportunities, creating a surplus of business that comes in. Otherwise, it's just like Otherwise, you have to keep on chasing constantly, which is just extremely tiring. And I think with what we are doing right now, it's coming closer than ever. We've got basically our ad game, which we've been running since the start of Noco.
Since the Stone Age, yeah.
Which works, but it's just such a shitty pillar to lean on, right? Because it is so unpredictable, and even when you're on top of it, 1 month can be a banger, the other month can be complete disappointment.
Yeah, and it's also saturated so much, so quickly. So you choose one angle or one set of keywords, and before you know it, everybody's fishing in that same pond, and the price, the prices per click go up, and it's just I've always been drawn more naturally to delivering value through content.
Yeah. So that's the next pillar, and I think what we're doing here is part of that. But Noco makes such amazing things. It looks, the stuff that's being delivered all looks so good, and I think if more people could see that, you would probably get a lot more inflow of business, and I think that's currently the problem. Like the organic reach of Noco, of us as founders, So that's the thing. It's the thing we need to continuously work on. It's gonna take a long time, and at the same time, back to ads. I do think that there's a twist to be made on ads to make it interesting, which are the sales funnels. So having highly targeted advertising with very specific landing pages that people land on, just with tons of money in there, tons of value. Sorry, and I think that could actually optimize the ROI on ads as well.
Yeah, that's what we're doing right now. That's the first step in terms of the landing pages. Yeah, and then they also, at the same time play their role SEO wise. So that's what we're doing right now. Going into the nitty gritty pains and gains that our audience deals with on a daily basis.
Yeah,
and it changes super quickly. And new tools coming out to solve those issues. So definitely going to be on top of that. We're keeping an eye out on keeping a close eye on Google Trends, of course, to see what's going on search-wise. That's always a good indicator. So yeah, no, it was a fun meeting. It was a good meeting, and it's just it sometimes overwhelms me how much volume we already pumped through. I'm talking about volume of work in the past months.
Yeah,
so much content. So much podcast episodes already, so much clips. We rebrand the clips from Noco and Eli 5 to use them on those channels. I have the stuff that I do with Jar, the 20 minutes mini podcast episodes. It's so much, man. And then short term, of course, just doing deals and working with the existing customers and trying to help them take the next step. And oh man, sometimes I feel a bit overwhelmed with how much we have been doing.
Yeah, I know, but I also get great energy from it. And I do think, because I heard you making the point already a little bit, we're a little bit in between long-term, short-term, constantly juggling balls. And on one hand, you need to get in more business to, basically keep the fire burning, to pay the bills. On the other hand, you want to have a machine that is basically ensuring that people knock on our door.
Yeah.
And that last thing costs a lot of time before we can start reaping the benefits. And currently this is the topic of our lives. And let's say you've solved it all, you probably get something next, So as long as we're just with a good group of people, having fun together, because when we figure this thing out, it's on to the next, right? So yeah.
And things are constantly changing around us as well. Man. Yeah, that was a cool thing I saw actually. You've been following these guys for a while. I want to just give them a shout out. I never spoke to them, but they launched something really cool.
What is it?
It's called Osmo. It's it's a website. Osmo Supply is what it's called. And
didn't you say they're from the Netherlands?
Yeah, they are. I think yes, they are. So Dennis and Ilya from the Netherlands. I think they're two Webflow developers, creative Webflow developers. They say they have a combined total of 24 Site of the Day awards on awards. So experienced Webflow developers, and we came across like social posts from them where they just gave away nice, very cool Webflow and Framer components. And it turned out that in their posts and in their newsletters, they were gearing up towards the launch of their website, osmo.supply. It's worth checking out. And it's basically a website where you can become a member on a subscription basis, monthly fee or quarterly fee, or I think also a lifetime fee. And the text on the homepage says, Osmo came from constantly digging through old projects, wondering how did I build that again? It is basically our personal toolbox packed with components, techniques, tricks, and tutorials, and it will keep growing. So basically, when you become a member, you get like full access to all these cool creative development components, GSAP animations, and who knows what else. There's a lot of transitions, loaders, buttons. Yeah, so it's basically a pretty cool toolbox, I guess, for no-code, for creative no-code, low-code developers. And since they're from the Netherlands and it just looks really cool what they do, I just wanted to give them a shout out and and have a look at it myself a little bit more. It's just a handy toolbox, but we haven't really assessed like the quality of the stuff on there. But the fact that they just had an idea that went beyond just building and developing websites, designing and developing websites, is always inspiring to me. Like, they basically started the digital product membership with Osmo.supply, and they also gave away some freebies as they were gearing up towards this launch. I think every week you got some freebies in your email newsletter. It was very well done. It just all looked like I was in their funnel, basically. It just looked like a nice journey, and everything that I received was at least interesting enough to not subscribe. To not unsubscribe, and then in multiple cases interesting enough to click on it and to even drop it in one of our Noco Slack channels. Yeah, look what these guys just delivered on our doorstep. So worth checking out.
It's inspiring. Nice. I think I always like seeing things like this. Basically, two freelancers, if I look at their websites,
I think so.
Who thought we could do something that scales a little bit better, and it looks very well done.
Nice, man.
Maybe it would be nice to have a little chat with them or something.
Yeah, that would be cool to have them on the podcast or something. Again, I've never spoken to them, but maybe in the future we will connect. All right. So what more you want to talk about today, man?
Yeah, I saw some things last week already with another Lindy agent being built by Andrew Wilkerson.
Mind the mic, please.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah, I know, but else you're giving me crap again that I didn't process the audio well enough. So talk directly to the mic. You can put it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So, but this was Andrew Wilkerson. I feel like that guy has shares in Lindy. I mean, he posts about it quite often. But
yeah.
He now made another agent that he built to call restaurants to make reservations for him.
Right.
I looked at some videos of he uploaded some videos of how it works, where he was basically pretending to be the restaurant receiving the call. Looked pretty good. There was like a little delay in the response of the AI. Let's say a second, but other than that, it sounded like, I would say 98% natural. And I'm like, yeah, it's insane that like you can just build this right now, because you don't need any coding skills whatsoever.
Right.
And let's see what this. I don't know what to apply this to, but one thing that I did think about is my brother has this recruiting company. And I was talking to him about like using AI in his business, and they do see some potential for it, but at the same time he also said, I cannot use it to outreach to potential candidates, to reach out to potential candidates. And I think this is coming very, very close, that you can just like basically build this agent with a voice basically with an AI voice that you can speak with, connected to your whatever data you want it to be connected to. I think it's a matter of maybe half a year, something like that.
That will be rolled out on a larger scale, you mean, for multiple applications?
Well, I mean, basically, you could have a recruitment company, and you could build something with Lindy that is reaching out to potential candidates.
Right.
Something like that. And I'm just spitballing here a little bit, but you don't need very expensive software development companies to build these kind of things anymore. You could just build this yourself, tweak it a little bit. I mean, obviously, you're not going to get enterprise-grade tech, but as a company with 10 people or something, you could figure it out with this.
So just so we can clip this, right? So what is Lindy?
Lindy is basically a workflow automation tool. So you can basically define all these triggers, and then you can add all these little steps of what it needs to do. So I could connect it, for example, to my calendar. Every time when a appointment gets made in my calendar, Lindy can perform some research on the person I'm having the appointment with, and then I could add another step that it sends me an overview of that person via Slack or via email or whatever I want, via WhatsApp. And that's just a very simple flow. You can make very complex flows as well. So it's, you can tie it in with all these different LLMs. You can tie it in with Gmail, with Slack, with all these tools that you use. And it has a visual editor that's very pleasant to work with. So I built a couple of things with it. It's nice. I mean, I haven't.
Didn't you build like some sort of outreach robot or something?
Well, I was actually I did all the steps myself, and now I need to turn it into an agent with Lindy. But yeah, I haven't done that yet. But I'm pretty sure it's possible.
Yeah. A lot of things seem possible nowadays. We should definitely try and build one.
Well, there's this the thing that we were talking about that I want to build. We get this. Basically, we have a lot of data about recently funded companies, and that data comes in missing a lot of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I now first made sure that we collect all the missing data, let's say I found one founder, but the company has like 3 founders and maybe a chief marketing or a chief technology officer or whatever, whoever is interesting to us.
Yeah.
Made something that adds all that data. Collect the email addresses of them, and basically just shooting them an email like congrats on the recent funding and such. And I think especially for Noco, that's super interesting. But now I just did all these steps myself. I think I can turn it into a Lindy agent in, I don't know, an afternoon or so.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. No, definitely the recently funded startups are interesting for us. And you know what? I really dislike poorly targeted emails that I receive in my inbox. I just hate it, I just see them and then, that's completely not relevant for what I'm doing. So I also kind of want to make a point of the fact that if we do it, it should be relevant. And
100%.
Because it just, I hate it myself. Just for the sake of that, I wouldn't sort of want to do that. But the recently funded ones, that is exactly the sweet spot where we can add value.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel the same. I kind of hate outreach, email outreach, and LinkedIn outreach even more. The thing is just, I mean, we basically put time and energy in collecting all this data about recently funded startups. So many are just so good, falling completely in the ICP of Noco, for example. And shooting them a manual message is just so time consuming. And I mean, maybe they don't like it. Then we'll stop, right?
Yeah.
But
and we'll make sure there's an unsubscribe button there as well.
Something like that.
I get these emails, these cold outreach emails sometimes where they don't have an unsubscribe button, but they have something stupid in there, like if you don't want to receive these emails any longer, type Star Wars or something. Like just retarded stuff like that. Right? Where they actually, like, as a trick, if you want to unsubscribe, you have to reply some sort of silly word to them, which is then, of course, another opportunity for them to engage with you. Oh, why did you unsubscribe? So when I see that, I immediately block them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. You can send me cold outreach emails. I know that I don't hate the game, right? So it's fine.
Well, I mean, there have been some examples of people targeting me with exactly the right proposition.
Yeah.
Very simple email. I could have been written by themselves, could have been easily written by an AI.
Yeah.
Just because there was no nonsense in it,
no fluff.
I think anyone that tries to make an email that takes, like, let's say 45 seconds to a minute to read, all with AI generated copy, it's just, I mean, you can just feel it, right?
Mhm.
And don't even get me started about an M dash that I find in there. It's just, 100%
Yeah,
written
deaf
by.
to M dashes.
But if it's just like punchy, straight to the point, accurate, like if I actually,
If it's well targeted,
Mhm.
basically. If it's well targeted.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, then you did your homework, and sure, I can't get mad at that.
I don't care about like how people approach me as long as the thing what they are selling is resonating with me.
Yep.
And the shorter the email, the better. Like you don't even have to personalize it. If it's good, then yeah, I'm
No,
up
I
for a
agree.
meeting or something. So in that sense, I'm also not that. I'm not against doing this for something like Noco. I think it's actually quite effective.
Yeah, as long as it's relevant, and
Yeah.
that's the promise we make. That's what we do our best for, and yeah,
But yeah,
okay,
we were talking about AI agents.
yeah, no, exactly. Well, can't we let an AI agent do that then?
Well, let's look into it. And there was another thing that I saw. Let me check. Why is this not working? There we go. I always get a little bit stressed when things are not working smoothly throughout the podcast. But now, yeah, maybe it's okay for our listeners to wait a little bit.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's no other option.
Yeah, so Greg Eisenberg tweeted this a little while ago, a week ago or so, where he was talking about something fascinating that is happening with agencies and AI in 2025.
I think I spotted that tweet. Yes.
Yeah, Silicon Valley has always written them off, lifestyle businesses, bad margins, can't scale. I heard this for years. I get it. Running an agency is brutal. You're lucky to hit 15% margins after paying employees, rent, etc. So what he is saying now is that he believes that agencies are going to be turned into an army of AI agents.
Yeah, I read that.
He said something very cheesy as well, by the way. What was it again? Oh, yeah.
What is it?
Turns out agencies were just one letter off. They're becoming agent Cs. Okay, maybe I don't like this post anymore.
Super cringe, Greg. That's it's unacceptable, to be honest.
I'm not gonna,
Yeah,
I'll be honest about it. That's cringe. But yeah, the guy puts out a lot of content. Sometimes something is a little bit cringe, but that's fine. The message of it is that he believes that service companies are heading into a new era.
I guess so. That's not really too hard. It's quite hard to argue that we're going into a new era.
Yeah.
But his point is, I think that they're going from low margin to high margin businesses.
Basically becoming a software business /
Yeah.
SaaS. I don't know what you think of this, but
yeah,
it is an interesting thought, nevertheless. And I also saw some companies in the Netherlands already having a suite of AI agents that they are selling on a monthly base. And they came from service propositions towards this proposition now. So I see it in the wild already. I'm just not so sure how this is going to unfold. Like, are there businesses seriously going to pay, I don't know, like 500 or 1,000 euros a month for a certain agent, while the complexity of building these things is basically becoming lower and lower. I mean, we just talked about Lindy, where you can build an AI. I think I can teach my dad to build an AI agent, and maybe maybe I'm exaggerating here, but I don't think I'm far off, man. And what I think is going to happen, that there will be a lot of service companies that are going to build these things for SMEs for relatively low prices. I think, maybe comparable to the price of a new website, for example. What do you think?
Well, I think that Eisenberg is right that especially in the short term that will be the progression of agencies. Yeah, things will be more built like machines. But don't forget we already tried to solve the margin problem with going to productized agencies and then scaling them. That was sort of an answer already to the very heavily bespoke kind of work that agencies were doing. So and then everybody starts doing that, and that gets commoditized again. So basically, his claim is that Silicon Valley never liked agencies because they're lifestyle businesses. It's just bad margins, impossible to scale and stuff.
Yeah.
And now his claim is that probably maybe Silicon Valley would like agencies, or VC capital would like agencies more because they can basically be built as software companies because of the AI agents, right?
Yeah.
That's sort of the summary. Yeah, he's probably right about that, but that also goes for a lot of other businesses, right? So I don't know, just the goalposts are being moved. So in the beginning, I think the easy movers, the early movers, they will benefit the most from this, and then like all other things, it gets more commoditized again, and every agency is doing it, and then the margins will drop again, and then you get that whole rat race again from all over again. So I guess he's right, short term, and then a couple will do it exceptionally well. He has some agencies in his portfolio, and he says he's going to invest millions of dollars in turning them into agent Cs. It's an interesting one to watch, and some will move super fast, and some will move a little bit slower, and some will not move at all.
I guess so. It is interesting though, and I think we do this now from ELA 5. With ELA 5, we do this for a lot of companies, where we basically analyze all the systems and the workflows in the business, basically to pinpoint like, hey, where can we do something smart? And that's more on a I would say larger SMEs and enterprise level. But I think if right now, if I would have been like, I don't know, like let's say 24 or something, needed some kind of business to build, I would probably do this, because there's so much stuff to do. If you look, how many SMEs are around us that are having all these manual processes? I mean, I sometimes meet owners of it, like on business events and such, and I also visit some of those companies, and the amount of manual work in these companies that just from my perspective can be automated for a greater part, it's just astonishing. And if currently you know your way around with N8N or Lindy or whatever, you're clever, you have a little bit of a business analysis mind, but you can also like build and tinker and know your way around with code a little bit. Dude, you can get in so much work right now. I see it in all layers, and especially like, let's say those smaller SMEs, they don't have budgets like 30, 40, 50K to pay some kind of software company to automate some things. But there's so many younger people that can just do this, a little bit tech savvy, and I would probably do this if I was 24, had to come up with a business idea. This is all open right now.
Yeah.
And I think also the same counts for larger companies, which is what I'm seeing myself here. There's so many people in, let's take the larger SMEs that have no clue how to do things with AI. And I think there was someone in our network that made the case that the domain experts need to automate their own stuff. I don't see that happening. It's the domain expert in close collaboration with someone that is tech savvy. someone that can automate things with.
I just have to.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to make like a glossary of words that are decel, then the word domain expert would probably be very high on that list, right? This is just like this.
Yeah,
it's
I
like
don't know, man.
such a legacy word. What is a domain expert? Like, it already implicates that you are sort of stuck within your, within your domain.
I wouldn't say that.
No, but it just sounds decel. I'm just very sensitive for the linguistics of it, for the sonic aesthetics, for the linguistics. It's just a domain expert sounds decel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think if you can find the right domain expert in some very boring domain, but where there's like tons of knowledge,
and then hook his brain to an AI.
Not that much technology. I mean, we've seen the same thing with regulatory change management. We worked with people in the nitty gritty of regulatory compliance risk. Yeah, mostly not the most tech-savvy people. And I think if you can combine that with, let's say the skill sets of Eli 5, I think beautiful things can happen. But I get your point.
Yeah, it does sound...
Maybe we've heard it a little bit too much in the consulting corner.
Exactly, that's probably why.
Yeah, and... but anyhow, what was I talking about?
I don't know, man. It was not nothing.
Was it boring?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, not at all. It's just I forget, man. Sorry, I'm just a little bit off, out of it this week again because of the flu, and it's just I hate that.
I'm just starting to wonder whether could it be a skill issue?
Yeah, probably a skill issue.
Could be.
Yeah.
Maybe you're taking a little bit too less vitamin C or something.
No, I take a lot of it, and that's probably the problem. Like it's neurotic over optimization. Like,
now you're sick of that.
Yeah, I'm sick of my own neurotic over optimization. Yeah, no, I actually, when it started Friday, I carpet bombed the hell out of it with vitamin C, D3, K2, magnesium, zinc, everything that you can imagine, and that seemed to work quite nicely. But it's still in there, and I just feel out of it. I'm just like a zombie doing the work these days, but. I should probably, I don't know. What do people do when in cases like this? You just go to bed and sleep or something?
Well, first you resist.
Yeah.
And then you go to the gym and you lift some heavy weights and you go to the sauna just because you don't want to accept, right?
Yeah. Because being sick is decel, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is not going to happen to me. I'm fit.
Yeah.
I cannot get sick.
No.
So first you do that. And then you think, fuck, I made a mistake. I should have gone to bed.
Yeah, you completely collapse.
Yeah, and then you get better.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
so that's
how
what
it works.
That's what I should have done.
Yeah.
All right, got it. Well, the upside is I did get work done in between, some social obligations even.
And you can feel good about yourself because you tried.
Yeah, I tried. I actually came into the office and... yeah.
You look like shit, man.
I know. Yeah,
you were fucked.
Yeah, it was hard to even stand on my legs, man. So it's good that you sent me home at some point. So what's going on at Eli 5, man? How's it going over there? What are you doing? What are you working on? How's the content going?
Well, I mean...
what is the vibe?
I've been designing products,
yes,
that's for sure.
Back to the roots.
Yeah, that was fun. No, we closed a very good deal last week.
Right, significant one. Very
significant. So yeah, just I'm always very happy about these kind of needle moving events, At the same time, you close the deal and you're already thinking, shit, I've got a lot more stuff to do, So it's nice to have the eyes on the prize once it's there. There's a lot more stuff to do, So I enjoy the focus on making it happen together with everyone around us. And once it's in, I think I enjoyed it for 5 minutes or so, and then it's just on to the next thing. And like we were talking about earlier, this conversation, there's so much stuff to do. And basically this event just unlocked a couple of like new scenarios, which I'm very happy about, but we already anticipated on those scenarios, so now it's just executing, right? So that happened last week. I feel good about that. At the same time, I also feel like I cannot wait on doing a little bit more product work ourselves, and we've been forgetting about that lately. Let's say the last year, because everything was on fire. Like not in the positive sense, but more like we had to fix a lot of things. But in the end, we're still a product studio, right? So we don't always wait for clients to bring us projects that we can build products for. We also invent our own things.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about that a lot lately. I want to get my hands dirty on those things a little bit more often in the near future. So new website is done. Very happy about that. We're working on the sales funnel, same as Noco. Happy about that. Everything seems to go very well lately, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
You know, like it's been such a chaotic. I call it chaotic 2 years. You know, so many things have changed. We had our setup 2 years ago was completely different. Lots of like larger clients that we leaned on a lot. And then one thing goes wrong, you know, and you lose too much revenue. And so currently we're having like a very nice balance, you know, like lots of things are starting with little proof of concepts for building generative AI suites for corporate companies, basically like a suite of products to automate a lot of things or to support the work that workers are doing. Bunch of MVPs for some startup products, but also enterprise tooling. Couple of larger projects that are lasting for probably multiple years. I like the mix that we're having right now, and it feels a lot healthier. I feel good about Ela 5.
That's good to hear, man. The new website looks great, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool style. I love the visuals that you all guys are using for the blogs and stuff like that. It just looks really sleek. It's really cool.
That's also a nice thing. We tweak this, we create this prompt based on the blog.
Yeah.
And then I collect like some style references that I liked. Currently, I think Naomi, our head of marketing, is still doing it herself. But this is another thing that you can easily automate. You know, like have the blog message, shoot it to GPT, create a prompt based on the text, shoot it to Midjourney, create an image based on this prompt and the style reference. And you get like 10 images back that you can choose from.
Yeah.
And it's nice to look at things that way. Because I remember before Midjourney was this good, it was such a hassle, man. Like I was just like, okay, put that stuff online without an image. I just want to get the blog live. It's nice to have a appealing
just
visual.
accelerate stuff, man.
Yeah.
And I have the same thing with all the podcast production and all the clips, you know, and the titles. I have all these threads, you know, and all these sort of prompts, you know, just ready to go, and then all it needs is my manual tweak. But I try to train it so well on my writing style. Man, it just accelerates. Just the volume of work you can do in one go is it's just great. It gets such a boost by all these little things. You know, from standardizing thumbnails, and you know, that's another thing that you could easily probably AI generate as well. You know, if you have a thumbnail and all you need to change is the title, episode number, or whatever, and a screenshot or something, like a frame from the wide camera from the podcast or something.
Yeah.
You know, there's so much things you can do. It's almost too much to deal with. It's almost overwhelming to even think about. But just using the AI tools like Midjourney, but also, you know, the ChatGPTs and stuff, for getting all those titles and descriptions and ready, and all the chapters, you know, it's a simple thing like, you know, downloading the transcript from the podcast with all these markers and timestamps and speaker names, and then just feeding it to ChatGPT, who then knows already pre-trained that it needs to spit out a description, including all the chapters with the timestamps that then get sort of picked up by YouTube, X, or Spotify, because they recognize the timestamps, and then turn it into video chapters and stuff like that. That used to be, pre-ChatGPT, it isn't that long ago, that used to take ages. At least it used to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
You had to go skip through the entire video, listen, around second such and such, that's when the new chapter kind of begins. It's never really a clean break-off point or something. And there's like numerous things, numerous little tasks I can mention that I now just get boosted by a simple AI action.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing task.
Yeah, and I still find very basic things I find out like that fit my routine or the way I do things very well. So I was in my car driving it to the garage, and I often listen to podcasts but couldn't find anything. I was like, I'm a bit bored. So I just started. I just launched GPT and I just started talking about like preparing a blog. Basically, it was like a 45-minute drive. I prepared an entire blog that I only need to like edit now. And I mean, obviously, this is not a groundbreaking.
By simply using the voice mode.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
man, I love doing that.
It's not groundbreaking. I'm just saying like this thing, like even in the current state that it is in, I still find like new ways of using it.
Oh
you
yeah.
know? So even if it stopped developing right now, I would still like gain a lot more advantages.
Yeah, because you haven't maximized.
Yeah,
you use all the possibilities.
Yeah.
No, I agree, man. Yeah, the transcribe function. So basically, the speaking function is something I use a lot. I don't really use the conversation mode, but I just use pressing that audio button and then just recording the text and it transcribes, and that's your prompt.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, it's like a bandwidth. It increases the bandwidth basically that you have instead of your thumbs that you're typing with on your phone.
No meat sticks.
Yeah, your meat stick. You can just speak freely, and I always it just suits me. I like to sort of convey my points vocally, and as you probably know. But it's perfect for this. I write customer replies on emails, everything, because I feel like I can get so much more in there in terms of the nuance and the things I want to bring across.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool actually. So I'm very happy with that one. Yeah, man, it's time to wrap it up. I think it's good that we did it.
Already.
Yeah, almost at an hour.
We're just starting, man.
I know, and I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, if my energy level was a bit lower, because I really need to get some proper sleep and get this flu out of my system. Andrew Huberman, where are you when I need you? Brian Johnson.
Get well soon, man.
Yeah, thanks. It will be fine. Like and subscribe if you like what we're doing, what we're trying.
Are we gonna say that?
I've already said it, man. I'm just surprised that I have to carry this entire podcast on my back.
I never thought that, I would end up saying that. But
but that's because you're so.
Please just like and subscribe.
Yeah, you're so modest. You often feel like things are a little bit cringe or something, but this is a business.
The problem is, I think every beginning is cringe, and I just need to go through that. And
but you're like this, such a sober Dutchman. Normal is already crazy enough.
That's exactly.
And you have so much to give to the audience. You have so much to give. You should see this guy in private. It's complete unhinged madness, like ranting.
You're making me very uncomfortable right now.
I know, man. I'm putting you on the spot, but it's just to help. It's to help you. It's to help you transcend into
to higher levels of consciousness.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, also, in addition to subscribing to our YouTube channel, also don't forget to check out our playlist on Spotify. It's called Dutch AC, so Dutch Acceleration, by Work in Progress, and it has the coolest synthwave bangers that you will ever find. And it really...
There are people around us that are getting absolutely fucking tired of this shit.
So there's this one great song. It's called the song is called Pioneer. I forgot the artist name, but it's called Pioneer. It's an absolute banger of a synthwave tune, and I know for sure that when Spotify Wrapped comes out for 2025, that song will probably be number one in my most. The producer's name is Carl Berg. That sounds very Danish, by the way. and the song is called Pioneer, and it's this, again, synthwave banger, and it has this sample on there from a documentary talking about the Pioneer, which was a spacecraft from the 70s that they sent out to sort of survey, orbit Jupiter and survey that planet. Yeah, I'm a nerd like that, so when I see that, like, I hear a voice sample, and then so I googled what Pioneer actually is, and I learned something.
Cool. All I know is that I can work very well on synthwave.
Yeah, man.
And so if you want to do your work very fast and very focused, you should check out our playlist.
Check it out on Spotify. I might link it in the description, and it also features a very cool cover image prompted in Midjourney by Wes Botman here. It's a very nice blend of futurism and VOC times Amsterdam. It's very nice.
The good old days.
Yes. Talking about accelerationism, Dutch East Indian company.
Isn't that company still until today
I don't know.
the largest company in history?
I know that you mentioned that the other day, and I'm going to look it up for you. Okay, so here we go. So
I saw a YouTube video about them explaining the entire value of that company still outweighs Apple, for example.
That's an interesting one. I actually thought that I could use voice mode on desktop now too in GPT, but I can't see it. So I will do it. I will quickly do it on my phone. Let me see. Here we go. So the question I have is the Dutch East India company. Is it to this day still the most valuable company that was ever created? Let's see if your point is actually the Dutch East India Company, VOC is what we call it in Dutch. That's the Dutch acronym. Is often considered the most valuable company in history when its value is adjusted for inflation. At its peak in the early 17th century, the VOC's market capitalization was estimated at around 78 million Dutch guilders. Those are the good old days. Equivalent to approximately 7.9 trillion in today's terms. This far surpasses the valuations of any modern company, including giants like Apple, Microsoft, or Aramco.
Yeah, I see the same here. I just Googled it, old school that I am. At its peak, the VOC was worth the equivalent of Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, ExxonMobil, Berkshire Hathaway, Tencent, and Wells Fargo put together.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Woo! Here are a few factors that contribute to its immense value. Here comes the woke stuff probably, but we'll see. Global trade monopoly. The VOC held monopolistic control over the lucrative spice trade in Asia, particularly in products like nutmeg, cloves, and pepper. Well, good for them, right? I mean, no other empire was stopped from actually creating a similar company, which is very good at building ships, if I may say so. The company had its own army, navy, and the authority to establish colonies, mint currency, and sign treaties. My God, it's kind of like the old SpaceX, right? It's like what SpaceX is going to do now, but on different planets. Innovative financial practices. The VOC was the first publicly traded company, yes, issuing shares to investors and paying dividends. This created a robust capital structure. Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, it dominated global trade routes and significantly influenced the economies of Europe and Asia. Whew.
Yeah, man. We're sitting in the physical legacy of the VOC.
Yeah, man.
Right
In today's context, no single company wields that level of economic or geopolitical influence. Yeah, probably Elon Musk with his companies comes close now to that level of influence. Although I'm not really sure. I mean, not a single company, but of course you have cartels, right? That's just, you keep it, plain and simple. You have like Big Pharma or something. I bet those kind of cartel-like structures also wield a lot of geopolitical influence as well, and this probably goes for some other sort of conglomerates or cartel-like structures. So yeah, but it's very cool. And as you mentioned, we are literally sitting here on the old VOC Wealth. You should see it now. No, but the architecture alongside the canals in Amsterdam is still beautiful. But it's like a relic of the past, right? You can see it sort of deteriorate as you go.
Yeah, well, that I do think, compared to when I moved to Amsterdam 15 years ago, a lot looks a lot better.
You think so?
Yeah, because even if in these old buildings, VOC-style buildings,
Yeah.
lots of stuff was just like completely not maintained. Also on the insides, I've seen like horrible things. But I think in the last 10 years, lots of money has flowed into Amsterdam, and lots of developers have worked on beautiful projects, and I think it looks quite a bit better than 10 years ago. But if I could vote for this, like demolishing all these hideous concrete structures right in between two beautiful canal houses, I would vote yes immediately to demolish them. And that's still here, unfortunately. But other than that, it looks good, man. Every time when I cycle on the canals, I'm like, even when it's cold, it feels kind of warm.
It has something special, right? We should do like a walk around someday and just do a podcast like with camera in hand, right? Something
with
like
a
that.
selfie stick.
Yeah, something like that. No, but seriously, it would be nice for the people to. I mean, we because we kind of sometimes take it for granted because we have been around here for so long. Well, not particularly Amsterdam, but very close.
You're talking streaming.
Yeah, some stream. I think we can do something nice because I remember doing this little clip, like for episode 3 or something, of me walking alongside the canals, and I just posted it, and like a lot of, multiple people from abroad. They asked like, "Are you in Amsterdam? Is this Amsterdam?" It's still a very unique place, especially alongside the canals where we at. So we might want to show that a little bit more. Maybe we should do a podcast intro, right? Yes, with the Synthwave track underneath it to hype it up, and that is our podcast intro. And it's just some beautiful shots from Amsterdam.
Yeah,
that's a nice one.
What if you just did that?
Yeah, I don't have time for that, but. No, but we can do it together, and then maybe your girl, she's good with the camera. She can
if we do it, then I do want to make some nice shots of us doing a fake conversation and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly, like very stock. But here you go, you're already sort of cringing at yourself. But it's obviously very cool to have a nice hero shot or something at the end where we present each other, because we are actually doing this to build our personal brands. And now you're trying to act like, I don't know, I don't want to be too vain, But you know that I'm right in this. That of course, it's not too bad.
Well, I agree to disagree. I'm.
Come on, man. This is D-cell stuff.
Do you think it's D-cell? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think.
There's a little bit of. I don't know. Like I'm a little bit self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also find it slightly. Yeah, I can. Lame.
Yeah.
Quite lame, actually.
Yeah.
And having this podcast, having this conversation, I don't find lame.
No?
I'm happy to do it.
I actually do.
You probably make it a little bit lamer. But these little things around it, a lot of it I do find slightly lame.
That's branding, buddy.
Yeah, maybe it is. But well, I mean, let's try it out. If I feel comfortable with it, I'm happy to...
never mind. Forget it. Probably not going to happen. If I don't feel the same energy for an idea, then it's already sort of fading away. I'm already on to the next one.
I do think it's nice.
You're being dropped from the podcast.
We could have a little... We could have a little intro with that that little that little synthwave song. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, great.
But
man. All right.
Does that make you happy?
No, not really, man.
Not at all.
Already in my mind, I'm already three.
Okay, so it's like
I'm starting my own podcast. Good luck with work in progress. And you can enjoy Wes's mind-numbingly dumb takes solo from now on. Okay, guys.
Well, maybe we will see you next week, and maybe Ian has his own podcast next week. We'll see.
You'll hear about it also probably on this channel. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening, and see you next time.
All right, man. Ciao.
Ciao.